Here's more wrestling news for November 19th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include WWE makes demands of Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair ahead of Survivor Series collision, a class act, Mustafa Ali praises former WWE champion after 2017 encounter, Enzo Amore celebrates 3 years since Survivor Series 2018 incident, how long will Kenny Omega be out after AEW World title loss, WWE bringing back fan-favorite feature for WWE 2K22, John Cena calls former WWE superstar a gifted performer after release, final member of Smackdown's women's team confirmed, Hulk Hogan suffering from really bad health issues according to Hall of Famer, and more. We are kicking off today with Survivor Series, where Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch will face SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. The two were once the best of friends, but have grown distant as of late, and after Flair went off script during their title exchange, there's been plenty of bad blood between the two. The pair had a backstage altercation for which the women's roster has been calling Lynch a hero, and things haven't simmered down at all in the weeks since. That's according to WrestleVotes, who reports that there's still legitimate animosity between the two, and that their bad blood is not just for the cameras. Calling it, quote, a feeling of disdain, WrestleVotes adds that WWE is expecting 100% professionalism between the two when they face off this Sunday. As for the match, it's been rumored that a screwjob or dirty finish will be used for the match, and WrestleVotes did note that the finish of the match has been greatly debated. Whatever WWE has planned, it all hinges on Flair and Lynch being able to coexist long enough to make it to the finish, and that'll be easier said than done, given the very real bad blood still boiling between the two champions. Now, for the month of November, WWE has been celebrating the career of The Rock, who this week celebrated 25 years since his WWF debut. In 2017, the Brahma Bull was back in WWE to film some scenes for the Paige biopic Fighting With My Family, but even this brief appearance had a huge impact on Mustafa Ali. Speaking to Ryan Satin, Ali said he and all other cruiserweights knew to stay out of the way, but The Rock had different ideas. Ali explained, Rock was walking by with a camera crew and was obviously busy, talking to people about the upcoming shoot. He walks by all of the cruisers. He stops, does a 180, and says hello to all of us, shook everyone's hand. Ali went on to call Johnson a class act and got a response from The Rock, who praised the cruiserweights for being super respectful at the time. As a leading man in Hollywood, The Rock is sadly unable to make many appearances for WWE anymore, but his seldom returns are always a big deal for the fans and the roster. WWE had hoped on The Rock making an appearance at Survivor Series and also counting on Enzo Amore not showing up at this month's pay-per-view. In 2018, after being fired in January that year, Amore made a scene in the crowd at Survivor Series, which swiftly got him ejected from the building. Amore's actions were so egregious that WWE put him on the Do Not Admit list given out to arena staff for the following night's Raw. WWE weren't happy about what happened, but Amore was, and on Twitter, shared a photo of his disguise from that night, celebrating the 3-year anniversary of the incident. Since his release in 2018, Amore has had just under a dozen matches, most recently competing for MLW, but even after 3 years, we doubt we'll ever see the Certified G back in a WWE ring. AEW news next, as Kenny Omega announced on the latest Dynamite that he's taking some time away from the ring after losing the World Championship at Full Gear. We previously reported that Omega is expected to undergo shoulder surgery after years of an intense work schedule in New Japan and then AEW, but that won't be all for the cleaner. On the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that Omega has been suffering problems with his shoulder, knee, abdominal, hernia, and others, but has worked through all of his pain. This is on top of Omega recently revealing that he's been suffering from vertigo since 2018 and has felt the room spinning during matches. As for when Omega is expected back, that's difficult to say pre-surgery, but Meltzer said that February has been mentioned. For now, Omega's status at the upcoming AAA Triplemania Regia event next month is in serious doubt, but one thing we know for sure is that the former world champion deserves plenty of time off. Gaming news next, as after the disastrous release of WWE 2K20, the franchise took a year off to get things right. Earlier this year, it was revealed that WWE 2K22 won't release until March next year, as opposed to releasing in the fourth quarter of 2021 as expected, but we now have huge updates on the game. In an official trailer, 2K and Visual Concepts unveiled 10 new features for the game, including a redesigned gameplay engine, new controls, and stunning graphics. The trailer also touts what's described as immersive presentation, and brings back the 2K Showcase and Universe mode. Arguably, the biggest announcement made was the return of General Manager mode, now called My GM, a fan-favorite feature that hasn't been used since Smackdown vs. Raw 2008. The trailer also touts new features My Faction and My Rise, as well as bringing back a stacked creation suite. More details on WWE 2K22 are expected in January, but so far, things seem much better than the last woeful installment in WWE's gaming franchise. Drake Maverick almost certainly won't be in the upcoming game, as he was one of the 8 names released by WWE this week. After being released for the second time in 2 years, Maverick posted a video to Twitter which started off like his first, before taking a turn. Saying he can't be fired from wrestling, the former 24/7 champion seems confident with his future and has earned praise from a very important individual. Responding to Maverick's video, John Cena said the video was worth a watch and called it a powerful message from a gifted performer. After being released by WWE, Maverick will have to wait out his non-compete clause before he can wrestle anywhere else, but this praise from the 16-time WWE World Champion can only help him out after being released this week. Even with a much smaller roster, WWE is going all in with this Sunday's Survivor Series, as the final woman of Team Smackdown has been announced. Originally, the team was meant to be Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Natalya, Shotzi, and Aaliyah, before the latter was removed by Sonya Deville. In a statement, Deville said she wants both Raw and SmackDown to be represented by the best and brightest, and announced Toni Storm as the final member of the Blue brand. For those wondering, this was a late change of plans, as Ringside News were told that Storm confronting Charlotte Flair on last week's SmackDown was part of the plans to bring her to Team SmackDown, and that was also a last-minute decision. Team SmackDown will face Raw's Rhea Ripley, Carmella, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Queen Zelina, and we'll have to see which brand has bragging rights after this Sunday's pay-per-view. And we're ending today with Hulk Hogan, who's dealing with some really bad health issues. That's according to Ric Flair, who, during the debut episode of the Woo Nation Uncensored podcast this week, said Hogan was undergoing a lot of issues right now, but didn't give any details. In September, a video of Hogan showed he was struggling to walk, and last month, his daughter Brooke said the Hulkster's latest surgery will be his 25th time under the knife over the past decade. Hogan's last appearance in WWE came at WrestleMania 37, where the Tampa crowd gave him a very unfavorable response. But we are sending our best to the legendary wrestler as he faces these ongoing health issues. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.